Hi everybody, today I'm in Taipingjiang near our tea garden, and as you can see behind me there are lots of motorbikes, and usually it means that there's a lot of tea growing in the tea trees. So today we're gonna go collect our leaves for noontime for lunch, and we will check on those tea trees. As you can see here, all the tea trees are in full sprout, and it's still relatively recent. They started sprouting 2 days ago because we had a major rain event. We had heavy rains for 2 days, and that rain comes at a quite unusual time, I would say, because it came at the time when we were expecting the core of the harvest to come. So you could say from an agronomic standpoint, it is the best time to get the rain. I think that will ensure us a maximum yield that we can get for this early spring season. And well, when it comes to quality, then we often say that rain dilutes the taste of tea, because of course, well, if you have water in the soil, the nutrients will be easier to suck up by the roots. Okay, let's just remember that water is mainly the solvent that allows the nutrients to be pumped up the trees and make those nutrients available to grow leaves. Okay, leaves grow from both photosynthesis and nutrients. If they lack one of them, you won't have much growth. So when you have the rain, you have a cloud cover, so it means that you won't have that much photosynthesis going on. Well, that could be discussable when it comes to tea trees. But mainly it's cold, and generally during the rain you don't have a lot of growth. But right after the rain, when the sun comes back, like right now, it's cloudy but still fairly sunny, as you can see behind me. And yeah, you can see that even these big tea trees haven't sprouted yet, actually. So the smaller and medium trees are more advanced in their development stage. You can see here that it's 1 bud 3 leaves already, which means that this tea needs to be picked today or maybe tomorrow. If you wait for too long, the flushes will grow too old, and well, you can feel it. You can feel it by touching the leaves. Right now they are soft. If you wait for a couple of days, they will feel harder to the touch, and that will give a lot more huangpian, very much like what we get in autumn. So, of course, depending on the location in Taipingjiang, different gardens have at different growth stages. But basically, everybody is busy picking tea right now, and we're desperately looking for more workers, because we know that if in 4 days we haven't picked all that tea, well, it will be a lot of huangpian, and we will lose a part of the harvest. So, well, that's basically what happens during early spring, except that on many years, especially in the past years, we haven't had heavy rains during the spring harvest. I think last time we had a lot of rain was in 2017. And of course, during the rainy early spring seasons, we have a higher yield. So this harvest took an unexpected turn, actually, because when we started, it was very dry, and we had very, very slow growth and few buds and low yield. And now the time has come to really get to work. Look at this tea tree. Even though it's, well, we could say it's medium sized, and this one is already very well grown. You can see here that you have the fish leaf, which is the first leaf that comes out of the sprout, and well, you have one bud, 5 leaves here. So this needs to be picked today. We can go there and have a look at my family. I think my brother-in-law, oh no, some other workers that we've hired is climbing the trees there. So that will, maybe they're probably picking it separately for us to make single trees tea. So what we define as single trees is the ones on which you have to climb in order to pick tea. Okay, so let's get back to getting our leaves, because we came here not really to shoot a video, but mainly to get our leaves at lunchtime. This is what they harvested during the morning. So you can see they feel quite soft actually to the touch. So it's good, because as the days go by, the material will get will feel less and less soft. It will be a bit harder, and that will create more huangpian. But I think what we're getting today and what we'll get in the next couple of days, 3 days, will be of good quality. And so that's the time we have to get to work, really. So I don't know how many kilos here, maybe 15 kilos of leaves. You can also see that here we have a thick layer of dead leaves, and it helps in building up organic matter in the soil and prevent weed growth to a certain extent. So this is Nogu 1. This is one of our ancient tea gardens. The only one we have on Tapingjiang, actually. You can see that this tea tree hasn't really sprouted much yet. You can have a look here. This is the old leaves that were here weeks, months before, and it's only at the one bud and almost one leaf stage. So this is not ready to be picked, and of course you have to be smart about it. You shouldn't pick it when it's too tender, because otherwise you won't have a lot of weight in terms of fresh leaves. So sometimes you have to come several times to the garden and only pick the trees that are ripe for harvest. Now, of course, it can be a challenge, because like these days when everything is ripe for harvest, basically, except a few, mostly some of the bigger trees which have a slower growth cycle, well, usually it comes down to getting enough workforce to pick those teas. But there are lots of people coming, and so at this time we have to pay a lot of money to the workers. The prices are high because we need to attract people from far away to get the necessary workforce. Back in 2017, I remember us saying that the tea wouldn't be of great quality because it was a fairly wet early spring season. And yet when I get back to those teas, we still have a couple of cakes left just for our own monitoring. They taste really good, and I would say as good as cakes we made in 2016 or 2018. So there's also a theory that says that the dry years give better tea when they are young, but actually as the tea ages, it tends to equalize. Although, if you look at yield and growth and nutrients in the leaf, this theory wouldn't really make sense logically. So, I'm eager to try the new teas. We've been back in Jingmai since yesterday, and so the tea we made yesterday is still drying. I'm really eager to try those new teas that are after the rain, and I hope the taste will be fine. We'll have to see. Now, the good news is that on the price side, well, the price has decreased. This year the price was high mainly because there was a low yield, and therefore, since now we have a lot of sprouting everywhere, we will definitely have a high yield this harvest, and it might even be cheaper than last year's harvest. This is not sure. Of course, let's not get too optimistic. We still have to look at the dynamics, because it's not only price that makes it's not only yield that makes the price of tea, but also all the economic dynamics of the strategy of each actor. Like, do the big companies choose to source more tea actually because there's more tea, and in this case maybe the price won't drop that much? Or do everybody run away because it's rainy tea and it's bad for the customers, and therefore the price will drop significantly? And there's kind of a buffer, I would say, because if the big companies choose not to make tea, then the tea will be cheaper, but it means that the smaller tea producers or the farmers themselves will process the tea. They will still get the leaves, and therefore the price won't drop too much. So you have kind of a negative feedback on the price. I think thanks to the diversity of actors, and it's interesting to study their choices. But this we will only find in a couple of days. Right now, compared to last week, the price has dropped by 25%. So it's even cheaper. It's cheaper than last year at the same point in the harvest. Remember that we're very close to the pu-erh now. We're only 1 week away. And officially, after the pu-erh, after the Water Splash Festival, that will be the end of the early spring harvest. But again, we'll have to look at the weather. Now, on the weather side, I've seen that in 2 days or 3 days there will be rain again, so that might really put an end to the harvest season. But we will see how heavy the rain is, whether or not the weather predictions were accurate. So now it's time to get this tea bag and go back home, and I'm gonna lay them on our weathering mats at home. So I will leave you here, and I hope you enjoyed this little excursions to the tea gardens. Thank you for watching, and see you later. Bye bye.